gentlemen, welcome. My name is Billy. I'm a member of Team Pixel, and I'm very happy to be your MC for today. We have a great program for you today, and I'm not going to be holding you back for much longer because we are officially kickstarting the webinar right now. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you have your coffee and tea in hand because we're going to have a very dynamic afternoon ahead of us. So, okay, let me start with all the basic courtesies first. Okay, so today's webinar is brought to you by Pixel, IMDA's dynamic innovation hub that catalyzes startups in the tech and media space. And ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you, especially our new friends who have just joining us for the first time today, to stay in touch with us and to stay updated on the latest happenings and exciting developments in Pixel. So I would like to invite you to follow us on our channels. I'm going to ask my DJ friend Amira to post all the links on the chat in the chat box. So we have our Pixel website. It's at inpixel.imda.gov.sg. We welcome you to follow us on our LinkedIn, where we share a lot of very cool, breaking news, exciting scoops kind of stuff on our LinkedIn through our posts. So do follow us on LinkedIn. It's linkedin.com/showcase/sgd-pixel. Yeah, we are a very innovative hub with a lot of interesting names as well, almost like Spider-Man, amazing, spectacular, and so on. Okay, we also have our Facebook, so we also share a lot of fun stuff for the Facebook audience. So it's at facebook.com/inpixelsg, as well as our very special EDM, where we send out our regular updates on our hottest webinars and events for you to attend and to learn. All right, so basically, today's webinar is part of our very special ARVR series. We are having it because today you cannot deny the movement that is immersive media, changing the face of what we do in our industries. And of course, we have the coming of the metaverse, right? A big push by companies like Meta, formerly known as Facebook. Also, companies like Accenture are giving the staff free VR glasses. Okay, I think that's a very cool thing. We have big companies like Microsoft, buying, big games company tries to develop content for the metaverse and so on. So we have Apple, we have Valve, we have Nvidia, we have Google, all playing a big role in pushing for the metaverse. So therefore, it's the latest development in the evolution of the ARVR, the whole immersive media world today. And we're very glad to have experts, right, who can share with us, a lot of evidence, including a lot of cool videos and a lot of cool case studies of how ARVR and the metaverse, right, is, helping to transform, to revolutionize, right, almost everything, right, from the factories of the future all the way to how we develop and construct and design mega infrastructure today, such as, the Jurong megaport. So we are basically bringing together players in the entire AR, VR, MR, and XR ecosystem, right, to share with us everything that's happening in the space today so that you can stay updated as well. All right, so allow me to start today's session by thanking everybody, just in case you guys leave after the last session, right? So I just want to say my thanks up front right now. So to thank our speakers, for example, who have kindly contributed their time from the busy schedule, right, to share their knowledge with us. I'd like to give a big round of applause to Lawrence Crumpton from Microsoft, Yuan from Hiverlab, Jiamin from PTC Vuforia, TK Ng, CEO of SFX Corporation, as well as Roberto Galbiati, Regional Director of Realwear. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today and for sharing your expertise with our audience, right? And a very special shout out to our outreach partners. We have to thank Enterprise Singapore, ESG, as well as SG Tech for helping us to publicize our webinar series. And of course, our supporting partner, ACE, the Action Community of Entrepreneurs. I hope I got that right. Thank you very much, our ACE. You guys are the best, right? So today's session, right, we'll also close with a live Q&A session. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have burning questions, we do have a Q&A session at the end of all the presentations, right? So we welcome you to send in your burning questions, right, via the tool in Zoom. There is a Q&A box, a Q&A tool in Zoom. We welcome you to address your questions and to actually indicate to whom you're asking a question now. So if you're asking, Lawrence, please indicate, dear Lawrence, we want to ask you this question and so on. So it will help us to fine-tune the list of questions as well to, basically arrow the right person to answer your question. Okay, so if you want to basically give them a hard time, right, please ask very complicated, very advanced questions. Okay, so once again, we have a Q&A session. Send in your questions via the Q&A tool. We will try our very best to answer every question at the end of today's session. Okay, so once again, use the Zoom tool. We look forward to your questions. Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've covered all the necessary pleasantries for the opening, so I'm not going to stand in the way of a very, very exciting afternoon of learning from all of us. So our very first topic is called mixed reality and why it matters for manufacturing. And allow me to introduce our speaker and his company very, very quickly. Our next speaker is Lawrence Crumpton. He's the Mixed Reality Solutions Lead for covering Australia, New Zealand, APAC, and India for Microsoft. Okay, so he's a very busy guy, covers a big landmass, right? A big area of the whole globe, I suppose. And he's a 16-year plus veteran with Microsoft, and he's very, very passionate about AI, mixed reality, and how commercial enterprises, agencies, and partners, right, are leveraging this next wave of computing. And of course, right, in his presentation, he'll talk a lot, right, about this very cool product. It's called the HoloLens 2. I believe, right, Lawrence, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's worth about Singapore $5,388 right now. I was planning to buy it.
You did your homework. I was converting it.
Yeah, I was trying to buy it, but yeah, I guess I gotta wait until the next bonus when it comes. So it's an ergonomic, untethered, self-contained holographic device, right, with enterprise-ready applications. So I'm really, really excited about Microsoft's take on augmented reality. So, ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, please welcome Lawrence Crumpton from Microsoft and his topic of mixed reality and why it matters for manufacturing. Please take it away, Lawrence.
Thank you so much. That was a very warm welcome. Thanks for allowing me to join today, IMDA and Pixel. Really appreciate it. We love working with you guys here at Microsoft. Look, I'm going to just jump into the content. I've got 20 minutes. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I'm going to cover a lot of material that's actually on a manufacturing website, but we're seeing a lot of uses outside of manufacturing. So I'll talk a little bit about architecture, engineering, and construction as well. And let me set the scene by going into why Microsoft has been making these investments. So if you've been following what we're doing in HoloLens for a while, you'll know we've been building mixed reality devices actually before HoloLens Gen 1, back to the Kinect days, where using the Xbox 360, instead of using a controller, you could play with your friends, you could use your body, you can move around. The Xbox could actually track you in your home, could understand your motions and turn that into gameplay. And really, that underpins our strategy. So when we talk about mixed reality at Microsoft, we're not really talking so much about AR or VR or even the form factor, because the Kinect was a camera and the HoloLens is a wearable PC, you know, a completely untethered wireless transparent computer. What we are talking about when we say mixed reality is our strategy to teach hardware, software, the tools, the platforms to be able to dynamically sense the physical world and all the changes that are happening in the physical world in real time. And again, why that is a very subtle take. When you talk about the metaverse, one of the big aspects of the metaverse is that you have this persistent digital reality consisting of people, places, and things. So, you know, just as you would log on to your social media account and you would connect with your friends, the metaverse will give you opportunities to manifest yourself into a digital reality that could be your factory, could be your hospital, could be training with your colleagues, and you'll be able to interact with them as if they were there with you. And we'll end at the end of this call with what we're doing at Microsoft around Microsoft Mesh. And
okay, that's really cool. Sorry, Lawrence. Sorry for the greatest sin of interrupting your flow, but basically, the audience was saying that there was some gray bars that was blocking your visuals in your slides. Yeah,
there's a gray bar blocking.
Yeah, I see one long bar at the top. It's a gray bar, and it's one squarish gray bar at the bottom as well. It's kind of blocking your slides. So maybe
I can get rid of that.
Now there's a bigger one that came out of the site. So if you can maybe reload the slides or something. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Let me reload my slide. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share my screen again. And thank you for letting me know.
No problem. Now, I'm going to this last no. Yeah. Okay.
Let me share my entire desktop.
Okay. So I'm just going to hold my breath while this whole thing.
Can you see it now?
We still see the bars, randomly appearing. Yeah. There's one on the top right, and there's one in the middle top as well. Yeah. Okay, it looks almost okay, really.
The bar, I can tell you what the bar is. The bar is the
zoom bar. Okay.
Bar. And let me see if I can hide the zoom bar. Hide there.
Yeah, I think the zoom toolbar. That's right. Okay, now it's in the middle of the it's in the middle of the slides. Yeah, so it's a bit of a mystery. It could be the whole interconnection between Sydney and. Oh wait, it looks great now. Okay.
Okay, that was the zoom control. No worries. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. And thanks, guys. The very first thing was just two bubbles. It's great. Well, for those of you who have not had a chance to use the HoloLens, I would really tell you to go to YouTube and look at some videos. But for the purposes of this conversation, the woman sitting in the chair is wearing a HoloLens. I said that it's a fully untethered PC. So one of the questions we get is, do you need a HoloLens on a laptop or a HoloLens in the phone? Nope. The HoloLens is a Windows PC. It means that you can device manage it. It means multiple people can share a HoloLens, signing into their own profiles securely, so that my information, my calendar, my job schedule, even the confidential intellectual property that I might need to work with, it's completely isolated from someone else. I can take it off, hand it to you. The HoloLens will scan your eyes, understand your eyes, and of course, load your profile. And if you don't have a profile, can load a guest or a kiosk profile for you, where you will only see the information and apps that you're allowed to do. And just like you would expect your Windows PC to do, you can use VPNs, you can bring custom certificates and custom authentication, two-factor authentication to the HoloLens platform, and it works seamlessly, and it works seamlessly with the management tools that you have. But what makes the HoloLens super exciting is the fact that it is a spatial computer. So when I wear a HoloLens, by the way, it's a certified safety shield. It is an intrinsically safe device, the industrial edition of the HoloLens and the Trimble XR10, which we will talk about. But it means that if I'm walking around a factory floor, I don't need a HoloLens and safety glasses. I can look around, I can see through it, I have my peripheral vision, and really I am able to use the device as it is in that environment. But I can take content, context, digital information, manuals. I can pin that context into the physical world, and I can even share that context with my colleagues who might be supporting me on doing a job, or maybe if I'm working a shift, when I walk away, someone else can walk in wearing their own HoloLens and pick up working exactly where I left off. So one of the ways that I like to show that is this. This is an actual application being used by Airbus in the manufacture of the aircraft. And the reason why I like this is it shows the power of mixed reality for a customer who's been using it for over 6 years. And you can see they are aided with digital information to build an airplane. And I tell my customers, you don't build an airplane by yourself or even in a small team. You build it in shifts of teams of workers that work around the clock. So the shift has specialists, they have contractors, they have full-time employees. Different people have to see different information that they get access to. HoloLens helps Airbus achieve that. And also, you don't build a HoloLens at your desk. You don't build it in a room. You build it in a smart factory, and that smart factory could be several football fields long. So the HoloLens allows you to pin that physical information into the real world, and it's the right information to do your job. So for me, that's really important, especially when I'm talking about mixed reality. Now, we've got a lot of customers using it across industries, across healthcare, across education, and of course, across manufacturing, construction, and engineering. And I'll let you read the scores, but I'll share just some anecdotal feedback from my 6 years of being in the team. Consistently across mixed reality engagements, especially when you have to learn information, what we see is a reduction of 50% in the training time. And we have some very big customers. So Thermo Fisher uses HoloLens for training. We have some really large engineering customers here in Australia and in Europe and the US use it for training. And they talk about this huge reduction in training time that you have. Besides spending half the time training, what we are seeing are 70, 80% improvements in retention. So on a typical training process that might be done in person or on a website, people are retaining, I would say industry average is 30% of the information that they were taught. And many times what happens is you have to bring the trainer back to retrain people over and over. But by using it on HoloLens, you actually retain 80% while you're studying half. And then this means that you get your workers actually performing at a higher rate. And there are some amazing case studies that we'll talk about today that talks about how that works. So the first case study I want to share is from Lockheed Martin. Just like Airbus, they use it in the manufacture of their spacecraft and aircraft. So you're looking at them work on the Orion project. It's everything that we talked about. Shift workers coming in, being guided in their tasks so they don't make any errors. And I'll let Lockheed Martin tell you what HoloLens has meant for their business for the past 4 years, because this video actually came out in 2019 and we're in 2022. Wow. Mind blown. Okay, here they are.
So imagine, you're crawling inside a spacecraft and you're trying to do the work. The last thing you need is to have to carry paper or tablets or laptops into the environment. Being able to have the data readily available without having to hold on to anything is significant. I'm Shelley Peterson. My role is principal.
Hello.
Hey, Lawrence. Yeah, sorry, I think the video just kind of got cut off in the middle.
I just noticed that it stopped, and that's why I'm
Investigating.
Okay, cool.
So let me,
okay.
I'm going to restart the video.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I'm sharing. Just tell me if you can see it.
For augmented and mixed
Yes,
reality.
You see the video?
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
So imagine, you're crawling inside a spacecraft and you're trying to.
Now I'm going to hide this now. Sorry, so you don't have the same problem. And I'm so sorry for all the stop. There we go.
To do the work. The last thing you need is to have to carry paper or tablets or laptops into the environment. Being able to have the data readily available without having to hold on to anything is significant. I'm Shelley Peterson. My role is Principal Investigator for Augmented and Mixed Reality at Lockheed Martin. We work with Orion, which is NASA's spacecraft that will take astronauts out to the moon and even into deeper space, such as Mars. On the Orion spacecraft, there's 57,000 fasteners. And normally the technicians would have to measure to know where to place those fasteners. With mixed reality, they put on the device, they see the digital version of the fastener hovering over the surface. They know exactly where to place it. When we do this, we save about 90% of the touch labor. We take an 8-hour activity of marking locations and they finish it in 45 minutes. Or an 8-shift activity they can complete in 6 hours. It also reduces the potential for errors because the instruction is just so clear when they see it overlaid on the structure in front of them. Over the last 2+ years that we've used the HoloLens on the shop floor, we haven't had one error, and that's significant. It's just pretty powerful. It takes what we think of as a laptop or computing to the next level. Feels like magic.
Okay, so you saw the numbers. They talked about 8 hours into 45 minutes, 8 shifts into just, under 6 hours, but 0 errors over 4 years now, not 2 years, 4 years of using on the program. So what we're going to do now is deep dive into some of the opportunities for organizations. I'm going to focus on manufacturing, but like I said, it's, cross industry, we're seeing those benefits. And I did mention there is a website on manufacturing where you'll get this information. So you can look up HoloLens 2 in manufacturing, and you'll be able to see a lot of these case studies I'm sharing. The first one I want to focus on is Toyota. The reason why is they're using it not just to build cars in Japan, but they're using it in North America with all their training centers. And you're going to see a completely different customer talk about a very, very similar benefits. So reduction in the amount of training time, a higher retention of the information, and then a better on-the-job performance after using mixed reality versus flying experts all around the globe in order to do this. So I'll show that video.
Part of Toyota's culture is based on Kaizen, which means iterative improvement.
We also had a concept called Kaikaku, which is a breakthrough or a major innovation that fundamentally changes things.
If we just make small improvements, we're not going to be able to stay number one for long. We've got to find this new leap innovation that we can move forward with.
Augmented reality and the ability to provide additional information to an engineer on the shop floor or a team member on the shop floor while they're doing their job stands to have huge potential impact. We launch a new model every 3 years. Our team members have to relearn or learn a new process, and guides in combination with the data collection tools that are available from the HoloLens really have been a breakthrough for us.
The main thing that we're looking for is a tool to help our team learn better and learn faster and have a better training experience, and also free up our trainers to where they can work with multiple people at the same time, where as in the past it's been one-on-one training. they have complete control and can modify and update the training as they need. That's really a leap innovation on figuring out what types of things convey that training most effectively and in the quickest way possible to our trainees. In order to have a more innovative culture, you have to try things differently. You cannot be innovative and stay the same.
As we do that, we have to keep in mind the Toyota way and our respect for people and make sure that we are giving them technologies that they can utilize and develop to improve the process.
I think that's really where we've had so much success so quickly with guides.
I love that case study, and you can find the case study online, and you can see a whole bunch of supplementary material, including, how it's impacted their organization. But I'm going to spend some time talking about a couple of things. One is the Dynamics 365 guides, and then they also mention Remote Assist and what that means in terms of mixed reality. So Remote Assist is our platform that allows a remote expert who is on teams anywhere in the world, in any organization, so the remote expert doesn't have to be in your organization, to be able to be eyes on a problem with someone in the field wearing a HoloLens. So I said that this is all integrated into Teams, so I have access to my entire global address lookup. If for various reasons you don't want to have the entire gal, you can actually just assign a job and an expert to be ready for the person on the ground to handle the call, if that's how you want to route the calls. But the remote experts, plural, can look through your eyes, they can share information, and they can actually physically draw into the real world and coach you on how to solve a problem. And, interestingly, I'm in the HoloLens team, and during the pandemic, I've used Remote Assist here with my plumber and my electrician, both to handle a problem without having to get them to call out to my house, which is pretty cool because I just sent a Teams invite, put my headset on, and after they kind of got over the shock of looking through my eyes, we were able to do this. Another very cool thing that they have been using is guides. And guides is, think of guided task management. So it's a no-code skill set, and you think about making a PowerPoint presentation, but someone who is an expert or from your learning and design department can actually build out the step-by-step instructions and physically pin them, not just on the physical assets, but in the physical environment. So in this example, this woman is skilled. She's trained, but it's her first time assembling this fuel system. Her colleague has created a guide. She puts the HoloLens on, and you will see that the guides are not just on what is the next step on the asset by showing her the step-by-step instructions. The guide actually guides her around the shop floor, telling her where to put her hands. And yes, guides can actually see to make sure that your hands went into the proper spot. You can put animations on the physical asset to show you how a tool works, or to give you like tips on how a tool works, or you can actually put video and audio directly into the steps. So in this case, she's going to see there's a tool that she needs to use. She's not really familiar with it, but you'll see, she'll look up and she'll see a video on how to use that tool. Now, we are always investing in the roadmap, not just the HoloLens roadmap, but all the services that support what manufacturers want to do. And one service that Lockheed Martin's using, you would have seen that wire in the chassis of the plane. And Toyota uses it in their car assembly. It's something called an Azure Object Anchor. It's available to all developers, and we build our own software on top of it. Now, what an Azure Object Anchor allows you to do is use the power of the cloud to train the HoloLens to look for physical geometry in the world that should have something aligned. So you don't need a QR code. You don't need any special way to kick off a guide. If you look into the room and you see the physical geometry in the room, guides will go, hey, I have a guide for you, and we'll just lay that guide out precisely and snap it. And like I said, this is just an enhancement that all guides users, whether you started back in 2017, or if you're using it in 2022, you get. And another enhancement that we've just turned on is the ability to call one person. So this is not remote assist, this is guides, the ability to call an expert in the middle of a step-by-step instruction. So I'm trying to figure out how to assemble this bike. I look at my hand, I dial an expert, and that expert can now coach me from within the guide without me having to go buy a separate license or separate tools to do it. I just need guides and teams on the back end. So that is part of it. And I want to share this case study from Kruger because it brings it all together.
In today's manufacturing world, things are moving so fast. People need to be agile, find ways to learn faster, and it is our responsibility as a company, as leaders, to provide them the best tool that exists and make them more comfortable to perform their task. And this is why mixed reality with Microsoft HoloLens is a powerful tool today.
Guides, it's an instruction that goes from step to step with holograms. It's like taking the whole factory handbook and bringing it to life.
If you can get accurate information and get it faster, this is the name of the game. This is where you can get an edge.
Kruger is an old paper company who leads its industry in terms of innovations.
Our vision of new technology, intelligent enterprise, is based on 3 key components: Industry 4.0, AI, and mixed reality. We decided to use Auger Group Conseil because we need a firm, an engineering firm that knows operation and knows the technology itself.
We work with Kruger to find the most helpful procedures for them all over the factory floor. Operating guides, training, inspection, troubleshooting guides that are really making a huge difference on their productivity.
You don't have time here to know everything because you have always new thing, new problem. But with the lens, I can take it on a break and know everything by myself.
One of our strengths is customer adaptability. So answering the specific customer need. How do you make sure that it's consistently applied across the 3 shifts? Well, HoloLens was the answer for that.
With a machine as complex as Kruger's, life is never linear. The new branching feature allows us to go different pathways within the same procedure, and that's a game changer.
In branching, we're gonna have the tool to solve potential problems before they happen.
With the new spatial trigger feature, it's way more fluid. It feels like the HoloLens is reading your mind. The HoloLens sees your hand, so when you move your hand, it will lead them to the next step. It is obvious to combine branching and spatial trigger. That would lead them to the right place in this procedure.
The future is this. It's more easy, it's more simple, it's really practical.
These new technology will bring the opportunity to unleash creativity and provide for all of us something the manufacturing industry have not seen or not even imagined yet.
It's fun. It's fun. Simple.
Now, why I won't go into a lot of detail, we've been talking a lot about the standard edition, but I wanted to point out that we do have a hard hat that's sold by Trimble. It's a Microsoft HoloLens, but it's built into the Trimble hard hat system. You don't need Trimble software to run it. It runs with all the standard setup that I've just shown. And where I want to go right now is just to show you what we as Microsoft are building. So later in a few months, you're going to see a little bit more about this. But this is our Microsoft Mesh platform. And what Mesh is doing is bringing different people who are collaborating across different applications on HoloLens together so they can actually collaborate face-to-face in real time. So voice, video, even embodiment. I call it embodiment because I don't have a better word to use it. Inside Microsoft, you'll hear it referred to as holoportation. It's a really, really cool way that they've actually built this product. We've got a lot of customers in the Mesh beta program with us, helping us build it out. And like I said, some very exciting news in 2022 related to Mesh and how you can get your hands on it. There is a Mesh demo app currently in the HoloLens store, fully functional. It has the services like remote render built into it. I think the demo app supports 8 people inside of Mesh at one time, but the final version of Mesh will support not only multiple people, but cross-platform on devices. So you can bring your phone, your tablet, your mobile, And some of you may have heard earlier last year that the Microsoft team said we're bringing mesh enablement to Teams by bringing the avatar system that you see here, the avatars, into Teams as a client. So we're really excited about the future of this and how it's going to affect productivity and training. And you see some of the scenarios right here. And I know that the presentation has been a little bit start and stop. And if you got questions in Q&A, I'll stick around and answer some questions in Q&A. But with that, I'd say thank you for your time. And thank you again to the Pixel team for inviting Microsoft to participate. Really appreciate it.
And thank you very much, Lawrence. Thank you. It's a cool presentation, and thank you for making sure the audience was staying awake and on the on their toes, looking to spot the errors. So they were really cool. Thank you, audience, for spotting some of the stuff as well. And thank you, Lawrence. We'll have you back for the Q&A in just a little short while. So in the meantime, have a cool coffee break. All right. So we're gonna move on to our next item. But before that, a big thank you to our first question of the day from Fu Zhi. Thank you very much, Zhi. We're gonna get back to you on your answer later. But thank you for sending in to the Q&A too, and welcome more questions for our presenters, including Lawrence. If you have questions for Lawrence, do fill them in the Q&A box right now. And coming up next, a big topic for us is called the rise of spatial digital twins. And I'd like to say a big welcome home to our next presenter, Yuan from our Pixel Incubatee alumni, Hiverlab. Now, Yuan is a co-founder of Hiverlab, and she has been helping clients, right, including MNCs and government agencies regionally in their digital transformation journey in the past 7 years. Now, I believe that Hiverlab has easily over about 150 clients today, right, including blue chip companies, and they come from 14 industries, so a wide range of diverse companies, right, in their clientele list, right, and in the past 7 years, right, Hiverlab has been helping them, with a focus on creating future-ready digital infrastructure, right, based on emerging tech, including AR, VR, MR, IoT, data analytics, cloud computing, and of course, 5G. So we're gonna right now find out more about this exciting topic called the rise of spatial digital twins. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yuan, co-founder of Hiverlab. Yuan, please take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Billy. And also, I'd like to just have a quick recap of what Lawrence was sharing just now. So when I was in, I think, primary school, there was one particular essay we were supposed to write about. The teacher was asking us to imagine about the future. So I wrote about, like, when I wake up in the morning, the coffee is already made, and maybe there's some like pretty nice kind of perfume fill up the room, and maybe by the time I'll be studying the university, and if I need to initiate a call with my parents, and we could just see each other as a 3D format and stuff like that. And little did I know that everything is possible today with the latest advancement of IoT technology as well as the immersive tech, right? And I think just now, as what you guys saw in Lawrence's video sharing session, a lot of those functions are basically what, if you guys watch Marvel movies, those are like things that Iron Man can do. Yeah. So internally at Hiverlab, we actually have this joke that the reason why Iron Man has to die in the end game is because his technology isn't new anymore. He's kind of like a little bit outdated. So let's just take him out of the movie. Yeah, but anyways, that's just a quick transition. Today I will be talking about the rise of spatial digital twins. It's going to be a quick session, right? We're going to pretty much focus on the digital twin itself and its combination with spatial computing in the last couple of years. Okay, so part one, let's demystify some terms. So you might have been hearing about digital twin or like metaverse, these kind of terms from time to time. But first of all, because this whole session is about immersive tech, I would like to have a quick run through of those VR, AR, MR, XR, which you might have heard about before. Of course, QR and HR are not part of it. Those are the other kind of Rs. QR and HR are your conventional understanding kind of Rs. Okay, so first of all, immersive technology, immersive media, extended reality or digital reality, those are kind of like those umbrella terms that talks about extended reality. And virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality are the subcategories of these digital reality technologies we're talking about. So simply put, VR, AR, MR stretch across a spectrum, right? So VR is the kind of technology, you can understand it as a technology that allows you to teleport yourself to a different environment. Augmented reality, on the other hand, is a technology that allows you to overlay additional layer of information on top of your physical space. So these two, I think it's pretty easy to distinguish VR and AR. And a mixed reality is the kind of device, is the kind of reality which allows you to put on a device that comes with translucent goggles, and you can see additional layer of digital information, and you can collaborate with your colleagues and interact with data, pretty much like what Lawrence was sharing just now with Microsoft HoloLens. So Microsoft HoloLens is actually a mixed reality device. Yeah, so the development process of all these kind of interactive functions are similar. There are similarities in terms of the deployment. From our perspective, usually when we work with our customers, we will be studying the actual use cases and recommend what is the best kind of medium that they should be using. So this is a quick intro of digital reality, some of those terms. And the next term we're going to talk about is digital twin, which you guys might have been hearing about this term many times in the past few years, because the interest of this technology is definitely ramping up in the past few years. So digital twin is basically a digital copy of your physical assets. So for example, a lot of companies have gone through digital transformation in the past few years, or the last 1 or 2 decades, and you have a lot of legacy systems already, right? So companies today who say that they provide digital twin solutions typically come from 2 tracks. Number one is the kind of company who provide data-driven systems. They may not be providing a very intuitive kind of dashboard. It could be a 2D kind of dashboard, but that is, in my opinion, a digital twin. It's the abstract version of your physical asset, but it is a copy. It's an abstract copy, but it is a twin in a sense. And with the abundant amount of data, the users are able to then visualize the data, understand the data, run some kind of analytics, and run some kind of simulations. So that is the first track of the company which provides digital twin from the data perspective. And another type of companies who is providing digital twin solutions would be coming from the 3D visualization direction. So there are companies who claims that they can help you digitize your space through maybe scanning, or maybe help you optimize your existing technical drawings. And that sometimes are then being used for visualization, measurement, on-site mapping, etc., for maybe like space planning or on-site maintenance, on-site troubleshooting, etc. So that is also considered as a type of digital twin solution. Now, today, our topic is about spatial digital twin. So we actually added this term spatial in front of this digital twin. If you understand the 2 tracks I was talking about just now, the spatial digital twin we're talking about right here is basically the combination of the 3D spatial information together with the data. So if you recall what Lawrence was sharing just now in his talk, he was talking about technologies such as a spatial anchor, which allows your device to detect the environment and be able to anchor the information at the right location. That is one important technology that supports, that empowers this current trend of spatial digital twin. And also advanced infographics, advanced user interface is another thing that comes into the play nowadays. Right, so with the latest advancement of media technology, we are right now at the dawn of spatial digital twin, and it's basically as many people claim, it is basically the combination of a physical reality, your digital reality, and also biological reality, the combination of 3. But biological reality is not something that we are going to talk about today. It's not the main focus. If you're interested, do reach out to us. We do have something to share. Now, so one common question is, why spatial digital twin? Why does it matter? Right. So I think simply put it, connection and communication in intelligence is some sort of fundamental human desire. Here are some pictures of all the different kind of mediums that our ancestors have gone through. It took us a long way to reach where we are today. But media technology has been changing throughout human history, and in the past it's not so easy for people to be able to connect with each other, and nowadays with the advancement of different types of technologies, we are able to connect with each other better and more conveniently, right? So again, I'm going to relate back to what Lawrence was sharing just now. You saw a lot of those Microsoft Mesh, those kind of technologies, which allows you to work, collaborate with your colleagues who are based remotely. So all of those technologies are powered by all of those experiences are powered by solutions such as your internet, of course the mixed reality, and if let's say you're working on machines, perhaps a little bit of like IoT and stuff like that. So here is a graphic which I hope that is able to help everybody understand the whole infrastructure a little bit better. When we talk about immersive tech, we are not just talking about the front layer of experiences. You need to look at it as a whole. It's not just about the gamification itself, the backbone, the change in the infrastructure is actually, in some sense, more important as compared to the pure front-end experiences. So we already know that a lot of companies have implemented systems. You have a lot of maybe IoT sensors, and you're collecting a lot of data at any point of time. And you're probably hosting some of those information on the cloud. So there's cloud computing, edge computing, also blockchain coming in, which helps to run this kind of process on the cloud. And then you have APIs and open standards, which allows different kind of systems to be integrated together. Also 5G, which is essentially a wider broadband, which allows data transmission at high speed and low latency. Machine learning and artificial intelligence are also empowered by this kind of architecture, because once you have the data, we are able to run these kind of computations and fulfill the different kind of requirements you need in your workplace. Now, so the thing is, with all of those different kind of technologies playing at the back end, there's a need for human to be able to understand what's going on and interact with the machines, interact with your data, and with the data and machines, you can then collaborate with each other. So in this sense, spatial digital twin is a very natural thing to happen at this stage. It's basically just that thing that allows users to establish a bridge between your human and also the rest of the technologies that are going on at the back end. Right? So simply put, we want to bring data, we want to bring the intelligence to the right place and allow users to consume the information, consume the data, interpret it, and collaborate. This is about human-machine interactions and push the boundaries of human cognitive capabilities in a sense. So this is also the reason why we founded Hiverlab. We were founded in 2014. That's about 8 years ago. It sounds like a long time. So thanks. Yeah, thanks for IMDA, Pixel for the support in the early years of our startup. We did a lot of like testings, R&D, and over there, right? Okay, so basically for us, we want to look into this particular trend of digital transformation with emerging technologies. Try to establish these kind of interfaces that allows human to interact with information, and also at the same time we want to bring down the barriers for organizations and individuals to adopt these kind of solutions, because technology is not meant to be something that's always expensive. It's basically developers' role to make technology more secured and open for people to adopt in a sense. So in the past 8 years, we have been exploring different kind of case studies, different kind of use cases with different customers, including government agencies. We have a lot of portfolio from manufacturing, logistics, supply chain, finance consulting, ICT telco, training education, medical health, etc. Right. So we do welcome use cases coming from different industries because immersive tech, at the end of the day, it is a new medium, and as mentioned before, communication and connection is an innate human desire, and we think immersive tech can be helpful in different aspects. And also at the same time, it's we're quite grateful to be able to establish great partnerships with some of those key industry players. So Microsoft is actually one of our partners. So we are part of their mixed reality partner program member, and also the authorized device reseller in Vietnam. Yeah, so if anyone would like to explore local or overseas collaboration, feel free to reach out. Okay, so with this. We look into the key offerings that we are able to establish in the past few years. So of course we exposed ourselves to different kind of customized solutions, and at the same time we're trying to see what will be some kind of meaningful product we can bring to our customers. So we are currently offering a multi-platform immersive content management systems that allows users to manage their own immersive content from just one single portal. And currently we're offering 3 different kind of products. That is a Cloud Expo, RealityCast, and Spatial Work. Cloud Expo is basically an online web virtual tour creation platform that allows you to create your own indoor virtual tours. RealityCast is cloud-based platform that allows you to create augmented reality broadcasting experiences. And Spatial Work is a tool that we're going to talk a little bit more about it later on, which allows users to create digital twin with existing toolkits that we're able to provide. And Hiverlab Central Platform has VAPT done by a CREST certified vendor in terms of its security level. Okay, so these are the kind of platform products that we have been offering based on the kind of knowledge we've gained in the market in the past few years, understanding the different kind of trends in the market, the demands in the market, the requirements in the market, and this is something that we are we're offering. And also at the same time, we are looking to media tech solutions, which could be customized for digital transformation for our customers across different sectors. So one of them is today's main topic, spatial digital twin. And we also have interactive 3D VR or AR for training, and also augmented reality experiences for product visualization and maintenance. So these are some of those very common use cases. Again, today's main use case, main topic is about digital twin, and we are quite fortunate to have the support from one of our customers, DB Schenker Singapore, to share with everybody here about their journey in the past few years utilizing different aspects of digital twin solutions. So we've recently won, this particular project has recently won a innovation award across Southeast Asia by RICS, which is the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors that pushes for the good practices, the best practices in the built environment. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to know that these kind of solutions are receiving international recognitions at this point in time. So now I'm going to play two videos over here. One of them is regarding the spatial planning, in a sense that when you have an empty site and you want to understand how your site may look like in the future, then this is where you can tap on the 3D models you might have to understand the visualization, and you're able to then understand how to minimize the kind of impact if there's any changes in the design. And also a second one here, what we're going to talk about is actually spatial digital twin. When you're looking the data into the 3D environment, which this will then empower the kind of enhance operational efficiency and empower the cross-department collaborations in terms of visualizing the data in a very transparent manner. So I'm going to play these two videos at this point in time.
Here at DB Schenker Red Lion Warehouse, we have the largest integrated freight and logistics warehouse inside the Airport Logistic Park of Singapore. With our 50 years experience working with international and local clients all over the world, we provide warehouse solutions to meet our clients' constant and evolving changing needs and requirements. In today's world, our biggest challenge is the costly and impractical way to create our prototypes for all the solutions that we have in mind. The advanced machineries are very time-consuming to make modifications, and all these modifications are extremely costly. We have completed an augmented reality visualization as part of our RFQ offering. These visualizations cognitively engages our customers, providing them with an unprecedented experience, allowing them to see solutions come to life months before realizations. They can visualize the finalized solutions using the interactive features of our AR, no longer relying on their imaginations or AutoCAD drawings. And this brings the presentation onto the site, not confining it to meeting room discussions. Ultimately, technology is a tool that helps us focus our efforts on exploring creative and innovative solutions that will further push the capabilities of DB Schenker. Advanced technologies such as AR offer everyone the opportunities to turn their dreams and ideas they envision into reality. DB Schenker Singapore has just taken the first step forward in using AR, and I look forward to using it more intensively to explore new ideas and solutions for our clients. At DB Schenker Singapore, we are the premiers of goodness.
Okay, so I think this case study is pretty straightforward. When you have empty site, you can visualize the kind of layout you have. And this is another video over here. Right. Yeah. So as you can see, there's a pipeline in terms of the implementation of digital twin. It can last across different stages of the entire lifespan of the projects. And I think when it comes to digital twin, it's important to study the use case, the user, the actual use case from the users. Right. So of course, aside from providing full-fledged kind of the digital transformation services and products and solutions to the customers, we also understand that there is a need in the market where the users are looking to kind of solutions which are more cost-effective and are able to basically require lower entry barriers to kickstart any kind of digital twin creation. So this is the reason why we introduce our product Spatial Work for this group of users who are keen to kick off your digital twin project fairly quickly and easily. So some of those key features of Spatial Work include Spatial Planner, which is a web-based 3D layout editing tool that allows you to load in your models, whether it's based on your CAD files or whether it's based on the scanned copy. You're able to load it in the Spatial Planner, and then you can use Spatial Viewer to bring it to on-site visit. And at the same time, we provide a spatial data mapping API as well as the spatial digital twin to allow you to link up the data into this spatial environment. So if you guys are, anyone is interested, feel free to leave us a message, drop us an email. And we also have some set up currently in a couple of those 5G labs around Singapore. So if you guys are interested in this kind of demo, do reach out to us and then we can talk about how 5G can play as part of the digital transformation as well. So I've reached the end of my sharing session. Just one more thing. I think we talked a lot about technology today. But when it comes to digital transformation, it's not really a tech-driven kind of process. You need to always bear in mind that people and your processes play an important role in this entire process. And also ecosystem thinking is very important. We need to encourage collaboration and partnership in this entire process. So so I think always keep an eye on the business logic of the digital transformation, and don't be scared or by all of those fancy terms or buzzwords that tech companies like us throwing, digital twin, metaverse, whatever that is. At the end of the day, it needs to serve a purpose, and with that. The purpose is something that we bring in, and with that, we're able to bring true meaning into the rise of spatial digital twin. So that's my sharing, and I hand it over to Billy.
And thank you very much, Yuan. Thank you very much. I give you bonus points for the Steve Jobs move, right? The one more thing, no way. Thank you very much. Big round of applause for Yuan. Thank you from Hiverlab for presenting on spatial digital twins, and thank you very much for giving us another example, because in our last webinar, right, we actually had a cool example of Singapore Changi Airport as a digital twin, and now today we see the Red Lion warehouse from a DB Schenker. So it's adding to our pool of really cool case studies. So thank you very much for this presentation. And you know what? Our first speaker, Lawrence, right? Actually, I thought he was the furthest speaker from us because he actually was presenting from Sydney. But you're presenting from outer space, so I give you bonus points again for coming to us all the way from outer space. Ladies and gentlemen, our very first speaker from outer space in the history of our webinar. Thank you very much, Yuan. And moving up next, we have another big topic coming up. We'll be hearing from Yuan later during the Q&A, so thank you very much. And I noticed that our first speaker, Lawrence, has been very diligent in answering questions on the Q&A, so thank you, Lawrence. I definitely will buy you coffee when I next visit Sydney, okay, which is probably in the year 2030 or something. Just kidding, okay. Moving up next, our next topic is on transforming processes and workforces. It's a big mega picture, and it's going to be presented by Ms. Wong Jiamin, Regional Sales Manager of PTC Vuforia. And Jiamin, allow me to just say a few words about your company. Just do a short intro of your company. And okay, basically Jiamin is in this company called PTC Vuforia, and PTC actually stands for Parametric Technology Corporation, right? I hope I'm right, Jiamin. It's a Boston-based MNC with a key focus in providing leading solutions, towards digital transformation. So Jiamin is in a team that supports the Southeast Asian region, and they work together with clients, right, to uncover use cases and benefits towards delivering value, right, in their AR implementation. And I believe that Vuforia, right, is a PTC platform. It's a comprehensive, scalable enterprise and an augmented reality platform, and it's touted to provide the fastest, easiest, and most advanced AR content development solution. So that is a very, very major claim, and I hope to hear more from Jiamin in presentation. So ladies and gentlemen, on transforming processes and workforces, let's welcome Wong Jiamin, Regional Sales Manager of PTC Vuforia. Welcome, Jiamin.
Thank you very much. So I'm noting that you can still see the bar at the top, but right now I believe it has disappeared. Would that be correct?
I still see the bar, Xiaomin. So, but it's a good. I think we're just testing whether our audiences are still awake, and they are. They are much okay. It looks good right now. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the introduction as well. So we'll keep it snappy and fast. And thank you so much. I think I don't have to introduce myself any further. Special thanks to the team here. So, like what he has mentioned, PTC is actually a global software company. We're headquartered in Boston. And in fact, our key drive is towards helping companies to accelerate digital transformation. And we are actually partners together with some of these people that you hear on the line as well, such as Microsoft as well as Realwear. In fact, our key is really today on the IoT and AR solutions, and we are actually helping to develop these solutions to drive operational excellence as well as increase workforce productivity. In fact, just today, we just have the announcement that we have a strategic alliance to accelerate digital transformation roadmap together with Shiftflow as well. So we would actually dive right into Vuforia for today, but actually from PTC's perspective, we don't just cover augmented reality. In fact, we started out with, maybe some of you might know what we call Pro-E, and that's actually where the product lifecycle management is at, and that's where Creo, Windchill, Integrity, and Service Logistics is. These are the Creo, like what I mentioned, CAD, PLM, ALM, and SLM. But on top of that, the main drive towards industrial transformation is not just about AR, but it's also about the implementation together with IoT. And that's where you see in this green section, together with ThinkWorks, Capware, you pull that in together and you can actually have real-time data from your IoT appearing into your augmented reality experience as well. So right at the top, you would also see Microsoft is actually part of our partnership. And in fact, later on, you will also see a lot of these examples and use cases that we have is together with HoloLens as well. Right? So I understand, I think Daryl actually had a question earlier, which Lawrence has answered really correctly, is that imagine HoloLens is like a device, but you can actually work with PTC or even I think Hiverlab as well, depending on the application. You build that solution and you can actually consume the experience using HoloLens. So more importantly, I think the jobs are here, but sometimes where are the people? And you really need to address the kind of skills gap and influence a positive future of work. In fact, sometimes it's not just about unfilled positions, but it's about having the trained set of skills and the introduction towards advanced technologies and automations. Additionally, there's misperception of manufacturing jobs and retirement of baby boomers. So sometimes that skill training and bringing the person up to speed so that you're ready to be operational ready to run processes on your shop floor might take a much longer period of time. So if you can see even from my background and even from the logo of PTC, it's actually a P and a D, which demonstrates the physical combining together with digital towards digital transformation. Particularly for AR, we look at digital transformation of the people together with your products and your processes. And the main thing of this is actually to, one, increase productivity, reduce your waste, as well as improve your safety and compliance. So we have actually worked with several of these enterprises around the world. And here we've actually consolidated a very concise set of AR use cases that we see across their needs. So depending on the functions, it can really start from designing, manufacturing, sales and marketing, operations to service as well as training. So for example, if you look at from the logistics perspective, we do have clients that actually want to provide a step-by-step guide and directional flow to actually guide you from position A to position B in the warehouse, and also to navigate for you and give you the right necessary safety inspection checklist there. For sales and marketing, we've worked with Coca-Cola, and in fact, you would see National Library also using our brand experience to actually create a product companion as well. Right? So anything that you do with augmented reality definitely looks fancy. But what's really important is that you need to see that there's potential value and the kind of returns that you can see from such implementation. So as part of the process, we usually work with our clients to really understand what's your goal, what's the state that you're at, meaning can it be that you're actually having a lot of manual documentations and lack of standards? And then we look at how you're actually creating that value, how you're reducing the amount of unscheduled downtime, reducing your authoring time to actually create such manuals, and as well to increase the training time. And all of this actually derives value, which can come to scrap cost reduction, capital equipment cost reduction, and more importantly, to reduce the kind of attrition that you have. So this is a use case workshop finding that we would usually do. For example, with Global Foundries, in fact, they were actually having a skill gap and digital disruption pressures in a very highly competitive market. And in fact, sometimes in their processes, if the SOPs are not compliant and followed, there may be issues in terms of the quality or the scrap, and rework might actually increase. Thus, we look at ways to digitize these SOPs for training manuals and maintenance processes, improve that remote expert assistance, and construct digital twins for them. We onboard the new technicians, train them up, and in fact, we looked at and we have seen 50% reduction in their training time. And so they were actually able to bring them up to speed quickly and also to transform the entire training process into something new and something that is able to be sustainable. So I think if you have seen the entire range of the kind of use cases, of course, you will also see that the kind of products and the kind of solutions should also cater to the respective needs. The aim of this is such that we want to bring augmented reality closer to people and closer to home. In the past, maybe you might think that augmented reality requires a high degree of customization and that you need to do a lot of development work. But as you can see from here, depending on the kind of use cases, we look at actually being able to create such content and contribution easily with not so much understanding or the kind of competency that only developers would have. So namely, even people like myself, I'm not fantastic at programming. The application, be it from chalk, expert capture or more, would be able to actually give it a much faster time to value, and you can see the kind of experience that can blow up in front of you. Right? So if we look at the kind of most common use cases that we have seen, in fact, you would see that you're looking at ways to actually have guided remote workers for training and operations. And here, in fact, you would see an example that we have with BAE, which shows the operation, service, as well as training experience that they have created together with HoloLens.
PTC's mixed reality solution has allowed us to drag and drop our 3D models that we already have to create guided work instructions to deliver to our production floor in hours and at 1/10 of the cost.
We develop a step-by-step guide that lets the assembler completely assemble the battery.
You're not looking at this in 2 dimensions anymore on a screen that's far away from you. It's right in front of you.
The HoloLens has really become beneficial in allowing us to train new people on this product 30 to 40% more efficiently.
Using the HoloLens, I was able to cut my assembly time in half. We can understand and we can learn so much faster, efficiently, feel a part of this process.
So you can see by using HoloLens, it's actually a hands-free experience. And along with that, you actually have that augmented reality experience coming up right in front of you, giving a step 1 to maybe 52 steps about how you're supposed to assemble the product, which is actually a very complex battery system that they do. So Vuforia Studio here, as you can see, this is another one that we have done together with Howden. You would actually be able to see the augmented reality experience come up, along with the real-time data that you can pull and collect from the IoT platform as well. So you can see the sensors here. The maintenance engineer is actually having that hands-free HoloLens, and they can see that there's a warning for the high bearing temperature. In fact, here is another one that we did together with MagnaMotion. On this case, it's actually together with an iPad. We're actually able to point the camera at a barcode in order for you to initiate the AR experience. And then when you hover over the conveyor belt, it's already telling you what is the directional flow. And in fact, you can also have real-time data coming up, which shows you the OEE parts per minute. And in fact, you can also have safety procedures shown to you, sharing with you where are the dangers, what should be noted, like no pacemakers, no watches, and so forth. And the next step you can add is in fact showing you how to do services, how you're supposed to do certain repairs and replacements, as well as troubleshooting. So for example, here, we've taken one of those examples to actually do a change and to actually complete the annual certification for the tandem park wear services replacement. So here you can actually narrate what are the tools that you need. And from step 1 to 15, identify what are the steps to actually remove it, pull it out, and then put it at a corner, and then identify what are the tools, how you're supposed to unscrew them, and then put the Loctite 243 on, and in fact, thereafter assemble them all back together. So these are actually looking very complicated, but in fact, it is not the case. In fact, that's where you can see from my next screen, this is an entire flow. When you have the CAD data, you actually can animate them and put them into Vuforia Studio, which you're able to alter and publish. And in fact, you would actually be able to show it onto an app called Vuforia View, which you can consume not just with HoloLens, but also together with your devices as well. So the idea is that the coding is supposed to be less coding. You import the 3D models in, you select the file that you can do, and you can run the CAD optimizer. Thereafter, you can bind the IoT data and in fact add the model targets there. So you set the tracking positions, save that in, and in fact, you can have the animations control actually highlighted in, put in the safety barriers later on as well to actually configure to show you where are the constants you should have. And this is the part about binding that IoT data, which you can pull real-time data from there. And thereafter, you have just published your first experience. And in fact, this was the exact one that you saw earlier on. Now, the other cases can include ways to actually provide remote support and being able to give you that inspection and guidance and address some of the points that you see highlighted in red here. Inspections today are having 4 main functions that we see. One-off technicians can't work with a singular focus. Sometimes you have to switch between your real world and your instructions. You can't really get the context at onset, especially when it's a 2D paper. You can't really get confirmation from that. And more importantly, there is no feedback on the quality and whether are you doing the right way. Together with AR-enabled quality inspections, that's where you see you can have that visual reference to provide clarity into ideal versus non-ideal, to add the 3D context in terms of markers and highlighting the portions, to have that digital feedback loop back to the person that's actually doing the inspection, and also to get digital confirmation immediately to make sure that you're doing the right thing the right way. And that's where we see Instruct actually coming into play. We scale that excellence in terms of engineering, improve the quality and compliance, and boost their frontline confidence and efficiencies. So the aim of this is also to have low code to no code, and in fact, it's a step-by-step process to actually create and offer that procedure.
Vuforia Instruct makes visual inspections a lot more visual, a lot more intuitive, and a lot more accurate. Instruct is the fastest and easiest way to author and scale CAD-based work instructions for frontline workers. Inspection procedures are anchored to the physical product, eliminating the need for guesswork or interpretation. AR visual guidance clearly communicates what's wrong or right in the easiest, most accurate way. The results of every procedure can be captured and tracked for audit and compliance purposes, and leveraged by key stakeholders for corrective action and process improvement.
And that's where you see Vuforia Instruct is, you would actually see that there is in fact no hard coding. Those are actually just step-by-step procedures that you drag and drop and put that in. Vuforia, right? Now, what about service inspection, providing that remote expertise and expert coaching? In fact, that was one that we did together with Toyota, especially during the factory construction. These were actually carried out during the holidays and weekends as well, and the site conditions may always differ from those expected. In addition, for Toyota Motor Corporation employees, they may not necessarily always be available on site. Thus, they have used something called Vuforia Chalk, which remains that accessibility and provide a concrete instructions using clear voice as well as target annotations. So that's where you see it's actually a most accessible over-the-shoulder real-time problem-solving app. And in fact, if you go onto the Play Stores and App Stores as well, you would actually be able to locate Vuforia Chalk online. In fact, this is a way to actually have real-time remote assistance, accelerate the way that you're actually solving these solutions, and especially during this period of time where you only have maybe a Team A and Team B set up, a 50% workforce efficiency, and people that are on site, you reduce that cost of actually having more technicians and experts there. So you can take a look at this video right here, which is actually an experience that 2 people have of one engineer actually down at the CCR room of maybe a plant, whereas the expert is actually somewhere else.
This is Vuforia Chalk, an easy-to-use, powerful support tool that allows your workforce to collaborate in real time, anywhere. Chalk enables your workforce to connect for support or training. First, employees can share a live view of their workspace with an expert or coworker.
The waste valve here. Now that that's closed, you can turn on your surface wash valve, which is here.
Okay, got it. Both people can draw on the world, and work together as if they are together. And thanks to Vuforia augmented reality technology, your annotations stick exactly where they're drawn, even when you move around as you work. In fact, you can pause the live view to draw easy-to-follow, multi-step instructions. With Chalk, simple instructions help you solve complex problems quickly and effectively.
Right, so this is one of those examples where you see, in fact, it's just a phone. It's just a phone device that you can bring along. And what's more is you can actually use it on the Realwear as well, which I think Roberto will share later on a little bit too. And in fact, you can have up to 5 experts also on the call together at the same time, giving the kind of advice and support that your team may need. Right? And of course, the last part, we talk about, having the operations portion, and we talk about actually having the CAD data and models. And we also have shared a little bit about remote collaboration and expertise on that part. Now, what if there is an event where you actually don't have the 3D models? And that's actually something pretty common in some of the cases that we see. In fact, we have what we call Vuforia Expert Capture, which aims to target also to give step-by-step guidance to operators. And why we call it expert capture is quite literal. We have the expert capturing the steps that you have shown. And then for newcomers and new workers to actually come in, and they can actually just follow up from there. And, this is one of the examples that we see, especially with companies who maybe want to import a new set of technology or processes towards certain plants from other countries into Singapore and need the people to be trained up fast and quickly associate what's happening. And that is actually how some of them have actually used Vuforia Expert Capture. Again, with Global Foundries, they have really seen that they are able to capture the wisdom of the workforce, maybe from US or somewhere, and they can easily duplicate what has happened here in Singapore and reduce the kind of time needed to document SOPs. So you can see here, critical procedures was actually sometimes performed incorrectly by inexperienced operators because it was a new line. And this resulted in significant costs from lost production. In fact, training and documentation also took a lot of time. So by actually having this step-by-step instructions created with Vuforia Expert Capture, we see the reduction of costs, be it from scraps, errors, and unscheduled downtime by up to 28%. So this is one of the fastest and easiest way to actually create powerful AR-enabled instructions to empower your frontline workers in your team. And this actually improves that safety and compliance adherence. And as you can see, somebody is actually putting on the HoloLens, it's hands-free, the steps are actually written there to locate the machine and turn the switch off, right? So this is, in fact, one of the examples that I will run through.
Industrial manufacturers are expected to face millions of unfilled jobs in the next decade. Their ability to leverage existing resources and improve productivity has never been more important. Now is the time to evolve how workers access and learn critical information, to reduce scrap, rework, and training cost, and save manufacturers tens of millions of dollars a year. That's why we've created Vuforia Expert Capture. It's the fastest, easiest way to create powerful step-by-step instructions that help frontline workers get their jobs done quickly and accurately. Knowledge is easily recorded without the need for existing assets or causing disruption to high-value workers, and used to create step-by-step instructions highlighting safety precautions and relevant locations. Content is easily fine-tuned, published, and managed through a secure SaaS-based environment and automatically optimized for viewing on Microsoft HoloLens, Realwear HMT1, and mobile devices. Augmented instructions are easily accessed by new or reassigned workers, increasing efficiency, accuracy, and safety. New skills are learned on the job, cutting training time and costs. Safety warnings are presented at the moment they're relevant, reducing the risk of injury. Workers follow location markers to successfully complete the required steps. Each step of the procedure can be documented and analyzed to improve efficiency and compliance. Vuforia Expert Capture from PTC, transforming the way manufacturers reduce waste and enable a safer, more productive workforce.
Right, so the procedures, I think I'll probably skip through right now due to the time constraint. And use cases that you can see here is really to have expert trainees and quickly onboard the frontline workers and to carry out operations with just-in-time guidance. So the key benefits are written here. More importantly, you reduce the authoring time and cost. There's no CAD or AR development expertise needed, and it's a much faster time to productivity and increase your first-time fix rate and reduce your mean time to repair as well. Right, so just to sum it up, these are just some of the platform customers that we have under our umbrella. As part of the process, we usually try to understand what's the use case that you intend to build. And from there, we actually identify how else to actually better improve the processes and work together with you to actually embark on this entire digital journey. Okay, so I'm also leaving here my contact as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know at the Q&A session.
Okay, and thank you very much. Jiamin will just hold the screen for just a while for you to take the notes, ladies and gentlemen. Jiamin, thank you much for a great presentation. Thank you for sharing the examples from Global Foundries as well as Toyota for the second time today. And also for the second time today, we have another presenter from outer space. So thank you, Jiamin. You also get bonus points. I love the planet behind you. It looks a bit like Earth, but it could be a multiverse kind of thing. But thank you very much.
It's a P and a D here.
Oh, the PTC. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So we'll have you back for a Q&A coming in a very short while. So to take a quick break, we'll call on you in just a very short while later on. Thank you very much. And time to move on to our next presentation. Is about accelerating your enterprise extended reality initiatives, XR initiatives, using this platform called Reality Transform. And our speaker will be Mr. TK Ng, the CEO of SFX Corporation. And I'm just going to give a quick intro to TK. He's actually a veteran serial entrepreneur in the tech industry, and he has a more than 20 years of experience, right, spanning across technology, R&D. You know, he has been in a game, I think, animation, games, visual effects, enterprise software, and of course today ARVR, and now we also have XR and MR. So SFX Corporation, right, has been working, with its partners, right, to drive digital transformation and Industry 4.0 efforts, right. So using this platform called Reality Transform, right, it's a framework and enterprise platform, and TK says that it is the go-to platform empowering every organization, every person, right, who's involved in integrating extended reality into products, presentations, experiences. So I'm really looking forward to this. So TK, please take it away on the topic, accelerating enterprise XR initiatives with Reality Transform. Welcome.
Thanks, Billy. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. So just want to make sure my screen is coming across fine. Okay, great. So welcome and thank you very much, and thanks to IMDA for this opportunity to present to everyone here, and good afternoon all of you. So I'll just bring you back down memory lane, since all of us have been talking about previous projects and all that. So I'll just talk a bit about when we first started in 2016, 5 years ago. We were still pretty naive, and at the time the technology was still very new. Everybody just came out, HTC just launched the new headset, Oculus Quest was in Dev Kit 2 and all that. So at that time we formed this company, and our vision then was very simple. We just wanted to help companies and enterprises integrate VR, AR, or XR as the umbrella term is termed, into the processes or operations. So we thought the technology is new and people will be interested, and people want to try and bring this in, and the companies where we work with will be able to pull all this together. But we learned a lot of experience from there. So we embarked on several projects, and one of them was a Sparkport Challenge organized by Maritime Port Authority, MPA, back in 2017. So we were matched up to PSA at that time as the challenge owner to build a prototype. So we're given 4 weeks from zero to build something from zero to a demonstrable prototype for the competition itself. So the PSA team actually gave us a very simple assignment, which is they want to see how VR can be used for training technicians, engineers, especially for what the keyword they used was for complex high definition machinery and procedures. So complex is the keywords here. So when we embarked on it, I'm not from the shipping industry, I'm not from maritime, so we do not know anything. We were relying on the subject matter experts to guide us and all that. So having said that, I'll show you the video of how it looked like. After 4 weeks of effort, this is what we created for the competition itself. We were in the finals. We were one of the 6 winners from that competition, from that event. So my colleague here, we actually created a portable ship-to-shore crane simulator that you can just bring anywhere, just pull a chair and just plonk it down and just train the operators. So we were suggesting the PSA people next time when they interview people on the site, they can just really let them wear the headset, let them drop in and just try, and I see they can control the crane. They cannot, or they get, if later on later on you see another scene where they're on top of the crane itself, and if they get if they have a fear of height at that point, then they might want to reconsider that job first. Maybe consider a ground job, ground operations or something, because they might not know that they have a fear of height. And that crane is no joke. It's 12 stories high, and it's not something that everybody will be able to like here what you saw here. It's really, really high up. So we simulated the entire port in that sense. Of course, a lot of creative leeway was given to us. We didn't have to be too accurate, but we were accurate in terms of the crane itself. We went to research, and PSA actually gave us quite a number of reference materials and links to actually see how the crane looks like, the drawings of the crane and everything, but we do not have CAD data. So everything here was created just from research material from the internet. We went around looking at the manufacturers and looking at the spec sheet and everything, and we built the entire crane from here. Then, of course, the ships and all that, we were using some standard assets, and some of them we built ourselves. Some of them we actually got it from the Unity store, and then we just create. But the crane itself was actually built from scratch, entirely from videos, from schematics and all that, which I will talk a bit about the learning experiences we gained from there. But I'll just let everybody just watch this little video here. There's no sound because this was done live. It was captured live during the competition itself. And pardon us on the quick head movement and all that, because the person wearing the VR was actually looking around and all that. So the movement was pretty fast. So moving forward, we learned a lot over the years, our challenges and learning. So this is not just from the PSA project, but this is also from many customers that we worked with. We realized due to our naivety in those days, we didn't know, but now we know. Subject matter experts' time are always limited. They're always very, very busy, and they always do not have enough time to sit down with us and run through things. And running through things off the top of their head and off the top of their memory is very difficult. This is not something easy. So we have to find ways to capture and review information efficiently and effectively from multiple sources. They have live demonstrations. Typically, subject matter experts, they are very good when you put the actual device in front of them, or the machine, or wherever they are. They are very good at that. But at that point, they will start talking non-stop, and you have to figure out how to capture all this information. Yes, you can have videos, you can have PDFs and all that, and those are standard industry documentation and everything. So these are all areas that you have to capture from. The other thing we learn as well is also there's always constant changes and revisions. No matter what project you work on, things always change. And the machine can change, the parts can change. Halfway through the project, a new version of the part was released, or another customer has another version of the part that the team didn't know about, and they were told about it last minute, and you have to change those things. And at the same time, customers also want to be able to make changes themselves. So those are also areas that they will talk about. They will ask suddenly in the project as well. And the third thing that is with this industry, because this is a very new technology, it's something still only like 10 years old, less than 10 years old. I mean, the VR industry has been around for 60 years, but the technology that we're using today, like the HTC, the Oculus and all this, they've just been around for around 10 years at most with the Oculus. With the HTC, it's only like 6 years or 7 years only. So the platforms are still evolving, like HoloLens and all that you're seeing now. We have HoloLens 2 and different devices coming up there. There's also a lot of hardware and software ecosystem fragmentation, as we've seen from the early days when there were just 2 or 3 different headsets. Today we have like more than 20, 30, or even 50 headsets over the spectrum. And last we found is that specialized staff and skills, programming, creativity, and all that are required for content creation in the translation of business requirements. This is something we found in a lot of projects, and most companies tend to shy away from digital transformation efforts because they realize they have to build a team, either that or they outsource to a company with all this expertise. And these are kind of showstoppers for them. These are areas that they tend to be very concerned with, and they want to always start off with expertise in-house and build up from there. So having learned from all this, we developed our mission over the years, and we realized that one of the key things we were sort of set out to do, and our destiny drove us that way, is that we realized we're out to democratize XR content development with a no-code, low-code framework. The whole idea is to make sure that the subject matter experts, the companies themselves, can do it themselves. They do not depend on us. They do not depend on specialized people. Of course, we're not trying to put people out of the job, but because even specialized people like programmers and all that, they prefer to be doing things that are more higher value add to themselves, rather than just doing the same old piece of plumbing, the code, the basics of VR, everything all over again for every project. That's very painful for them, for programmers and designers. So we want to also elevate and make their job a lot better. At the same time, we also have a ready-to-deploy global collaboration platform, or you can call it a metaverse today. So that's something that we realize that's also don't exist out there in the ready-to-go package. So that's something we built. And this comes to our core IP, which is Reality Transform, our product. And of course, 1.0 was born sometime in 2018. So this was one of the first projects from Certis that video created. just for your viewing pleasure. You can search it on YouTube. You can just search on Studies Corporate University under the V. It's a slick button. It shows you what they are doing for their training. So this is actually a training and assessment system for their security officers in terms of checkpoints and knowing what to search for, like contrabands or illegal items, drugs and bad items and all that. So this is actually part of the entire training simulator that was created for them. What you see is the excerpt of the actual system. So the actual system is much more complicated than that, and there's also a tracking and rule-based system behind watching and assessing the trainings as well. So we give reports and feedback to the trainers. So moving on, from there onwards, 2018 till now, we have evolved our system. We're constantly developing, doing the R&D, or that more than half the team are actually in the R&D and product development group. So we have evolved the system today into what we call two core products, which is Relative Transform Creator, which is our no-code, low-code platform running in Unity. The reason why we chose to run everything in Unity is because we want to unify and minimize users from having to learn multiple UI, multiple software. So learn one software, Unity, and with our no-code framework, off you go. You're ready to run, and it's easy to train from there. And you can get access to a ready pool of talents from the universities, from the polys and ITE, because they are all, most of them are today are being taught Unity as well. And on top of that, we have our Relative Transform Enterprise Cloud, which is a ready to deploy solution, either on-premise or on the cloud itself, Azure, Amazon, Tencent, Alibaba. We've tested and deployed on all these platforms. And we have a modular and customizable collaboration system that customers can pick and choose to build their client from. That's also part of our offering as well. And at the same time, the main advantages of our system from what we have learned so far and what we are doing today, and this is our main part of our main mission, is to allow the user to start quickly, start with existing teams. Training and consulting are available from our consulting team to help and guide, build up for the first project for them. But having said that, subsequent projects we prefer to let the users run on their own, and we just stand back and guide them and consult for them. But we want them to be able to take on the job and continue building up from there. They don't depend on us anymore. That's our aim actually. They just make use of our platform, make use of our technology. We are scalable, multi-platform, as well as multi-user. The whole system itself is designed for multi-user collaboration worldwide, ready to deploy. You can integrate with enterprise infrastructure like PRM systems, learning management systems, as well as data lakes, IoT, sensors, and all that. It all depends. And this is the part where the low-code portion comes in, or we can customize and custom create components that is needed, especially just for the customer's infrastructure or their customer-specific use. And I mentioned it's modular, customizable. Importantly, it brings all these benefits like safety, governance, environmental benefits like carbon reductions. You also empower the subject matter experts, which is something we found that's very, very important actually. And the subject matter experts themselves also have better social and work-life balance after that as well, because this also takes a lot off their load as well, having this system. So just to show you today what we have, our system has evolved to the point where today this is actually a POC done for a major global customer to make use of a very difficult use case that they throw to us. They want to see three systems operating together, interoperating using the MR device, mixed reality like the HoloLens 2, with a VR device using the Oculus Quest 2, and an AR device using the Apple iPad. And they want to see all these three interoperating together in a kind of industrial use environment. So we created this particular POC with a partner of ours and to showcase to this global customer. So next video, I'll just show you how it looked like. So this is actually the use case itself that we shown late last year and actually back in January 2021, and this is what was shown to the customer.
This is Sam, your trainer for the printer.
Now, Sam, the trainer, is actually working from home. She's actually remote. She's wearing an Oculus Quest. So on the left side, you're seeing her view. And the trainer herself, Jasmine, she's on site. She's wearing a HoloLens 2, and you can see her avatar over there. So I'll just let you watch
open the
video.
door slightly. Okay.
This is all captured live from the actual training scenario. And there's a third person holding onto an iPad, moving around, capturing, and they can actually stream it over Teams or Zoom to a bigger group of audience behind the scene, watching the two of them learning. And this can be recorded.
You check that the two filament feeding tubes are secured and connected to the print heads.
Yes, they are connected.
Okay, good. Right. Okay, so once this is done, close the top cover.
So on the left side is the digital twin that Sam is operating with, so that she can get all the motion right, and she knows which part to touch on the machine itself, so that it's accurate in terms of the placements of hands and wherever she's drawing or annotating, everything is accurate there.
Right. Okay, turn on the printer, right? Okay.
Yep, the printer is on.
The printer is on. So you see the LCD panel, right? There are 4 buttons on the left,
Oh,
right?
okay.
The lowest one is the 2 button. Okay,
I see 6
right.
buttons.
Sorry?
I see 6 buttons.
Yeah, so you see 6 buttons here, right? Okay, so the rightmost and the bottom button is the light button. Press that.
Okay.
Right, so now you see the lights on for the printer.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we have to make sure that this tray is clean and clear before we submit the job. Right, so now there's nothing there. The next thing you do is press down the tray release bar and then bring up the tray. Yes, okay, now bring up the tray.
Yeah, so at this point, I'll show you how the view looks like from the trainee's point of view. So here you're seeing from the iPad, from the viewer point of view, for showing the two of them interacting. The next view I'll show you is actually from the trainee, Jasmine, from her point of view as a trainee. This is how it looks.
All right, Ken. Okay, first thing is let's open the door of the printer. Okay, you try open the door.
So basically, the trainer, Sam, can see all her hands, what the trainee is doing and what she's actually working on. And the trainee herself can see where Sam is telling her to go to. So this is a lot. This is one way that we are actually doing. Instead of someone flying live to the location, now we have someone virtually going there, and by the same time still being able to deliver the training as if he or she is live on the site. Just like the movie Ghost, for example, Patrick Swayze. So it's just, this is how we are able to sort of teleport people into the real world environment and having them spatially correct in that location itself. All right, so I'll move to the next slide. And so just having seen that, these are some of the partners we work with globally. So NVIDIA and as well as HTC, Magic Leap, Unity, Microsoft, Intel, all these are our partners that we work with for different customers and different projects. And some of the customers that have been adopting these solutions today globally as well as locally are like ASM and Certis, and we have many more from around the region and others that we're engaging currently. So with that, I will say that I come to the end of my presentation. So I just hope that the videos has been useful for all of you, and looking forward to hearing from all of you. If there's any questions, feel free to ask or feel free to email me at tk@sfxcorp.com. I'll be happy to answer you, or we can always invite you over to our studio office to have a try and have a play around with our systems. And there's a lot more we can show you, and then you can just enjoy and see how far things have come for XR. All right, with that, thank you all very much for your time, and I appreciate it. And I'll hand it right back to Billy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TK. A very interesting presentation. I really love the BSA Smart Point. It almost felt like you're playing a Call of Duty game. I mean, it was so realistic. And I definitely love the use case of the MR, VR, AR case study. I mean, the 3D printer training, it looks very, very fascinating. I think I'd love to learn there as well. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions for TK, right, feel free to pop them into the Q&A box. We'll invite TK back later to answer your questions, all right? So TK, have a quick break. We'll be back to you in a short while. Thank you very much. And coming up next, our final, actually, a key topic of today is going to be about, drum roll please. All right, DJ, I'm not playing my drum roll. Okay, it's about reshaping maintenance operations, and our speaker is a veteran, right? It's a veteran sales executive with over 25 years of experience and a track record, right? And he's been working for companies including HP, RSC Security, and all the way to Realwear today. And he has been a Singapore resident for 26 years. Okay, I'm talking about Roberto Galbiati. He's the regional director of Realwear. Of course, Realwear, right, it's the world's leading provider of assisted reality wearable solutions, right, that engage, empower, and elevate the modern frontline industrial worker, okay, to perform his work more efficiently and so on. And I believe that Realwear has shipped wearable devices, right, to more than 5,000 unique enterprise customers, right, all over the world, right, across a wide range of industries. So it's a very, very interesting case study, of ARVR in actual industrial operations. So, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about reshaping maintenance operations, it's my great pleasure to invite Mr. Roberto Galbiati, Regional Director of Realwear. Welcome, Roberto.
All right, thank you, Billy. And good afternoon, everyone. Can I just confirm that you see me and you're hearing me well?
I can see you, and we can see you here. I can see your slides as well.
Okay, great, fantastic, thank you. Now, because I'm a veteran, you can tell my age, and sometimes with technology I have to double check or triple check. But Thanks for the fantastic introduction, Billy. And I have to say, yes, we have shipped a lot of our technology around the world. And in fact, we shipped probably close to 70,000 of our devices to customers around the world today. So what do we do? Let me just take you through a video that will give you a bit of an introduction in terms of what Realwear looks like in the field with customer using it.
Today's workers need the best tools to do their job. Safer, faster, smarter. Luckily, every worker already has the best tools, a pair of hands. Today's industrial workers juggle lots of devices. Yet, out there on the job, sometimes they need a third hand to hold a flashlight, manuals, some tools. Realwear aims to free your hands with the world's first completely hands-free Android tablet. Head-mounted with plenty of room to use with a safety helmet and glasses. With both hands free, it's just a safer, faster, and smarter way to get the job done. Designed for the most demanding of industrial environments, rugged enough for military use. Use simple voice commands, even in loud industrial environments. With hands-free, real-time collaboration, remote experts can see what the field worker sees. Solve problems, prevent mistakes, coach a worker through a new procedure, and record it for training videos. The results and cost savings speak for themselves. The Realwear HMT1. Free your hands.
So freeing your hands, that's clearly what we do best, what we allow frontline workers to do best. Now, you have seen a great set of presentations from Lawrence to Jermaine talking about PTC and Vuforia Chalk, to the great solutions that are available in the market today. Now, clearly, you saw that we are now focusing on something else. We're focusing on the type of users that are working in very challenging environments. You have looked some of our heroes walking out ladders in oil rigs, climbing up and down, different decks of a ship, working under extremely dangerous and challenging circumstances. And these type of workers need to have their hands free, right? So it is very important for a service crew that is going out there to solve a problem to be able to use their hands to either stay safe or just use important tools that they need to get the job done. But these guys also need to be able to talk to the rest of the organization. They need to talk to experts, so subject matter experts, mentors, suppliers. And they need to work often alone, doubling, as a mechanic, as an electrician, as an expert of, a particular machine, when, they might be clearly getting out of their comfort zone. And they often do it in very hazardous environments, potentially explosive areas, the areas called Zone 1 areas, where explosive gases might be in the air. So these are the type of workers that we focus on with our solutions and have deployed lots of our devices in their environments. Now, let's talk a little bit about Keppel infrastructure. They are working with us in Singapore and outside Singapore, in fact, in Europe and in other bases that I have across, and other companies that I have across Asia, basically working through the process of digitalization of an expansion of an existing set of applications and services to frontline workers, right? So, and how is that done? That is done through wearables. Now, usually, workers outside the main part of the organization have taken tablets, have taken mobile phones to basically have the office with them. But what is happening now is that these workers need more than just taking the office with them. They need to be able to connect to sensors within the environment they're working in. They need to be able to navigate through plants, factories, machines, and keep the services up and running. And at the same time, what they need to do is basically bring the field inside the organization So it's now reversing. The transit of information is now reversed from workers that are highly connected to experts that are tapping on existing networks and are within the organization, their organizational suppliers. So what is happening with customers like Apple, for example? You probably may have seen recently a press announcement which came out on the Strait Times when they talk about the marina, Keppel Marina, and what they're doing, they have given wearables to some of the workers in the marina that are responsible for health and safety of users of the marina, of boats and contractors, and are using 5G networks and our tablets, wearable tablets, to basically connect to experts in case anything happens. So this is to minimize potential security hazards, or just intervene in case of security situations. Again, what is interesting is that the workers that are using our technology are people, in this case, wearing a life vest. They are wearing, a suit that they're ready to go and dive into the water and help anybody that has a problem. That tells you something about the type of digital tools that we provide to frontline workers. But the exercise with Keppel is actually moving on to many other areas of Keppel themselves. Remote mentoring and collaboration is happening between different Keppel industries within the recycling industry, within the offshore and marine industry, in some of the infrastructure projects that they have. For example, PUB that are running jewel of the crown of Keppel infrastructure desalination plants are using Realwear technology to monitor the infrastructure, provide remote assistance, enhance resilience to the different components, industrial components that are working. And with that, obviously, they are allowing travel avoidance to a great extent, because the level of collaboration that is happening is allowing people to work where they are from their office. Keppel themselves are also focusing through one of the subsidiaries to the application development and resale of solutions for wearables through 5G networks. So it's a large project that is taking place as we speak, and it's evolving very rapidly with many different moving parts. Now, just to give you an idea of what their aim, objective, their goal is to create a connected workforce that is highly productive under all type of circumstances, whether it's lack of shortage of labor, it's the inability to travel, it's COVID and the necessary sort of travel limitations, social distancing, or the necessity to intervene and solve the problem straight away. Now, what we're going to look at now is a number of use cases that are possible with our devices, and we'll start focusing on remote expert guidance, on-demand training, inspection, verification, visual assistance, and document navigation through the stories and through the eyes of some of our customers that have basically built testimonials and are willing to tell us exactly what they have done with Realwear and how. Let's have a look at Goodyear, which is also a customer of ours in Southeast Asia.
We make a very complex and high-performing product in roughly 30 factories around the world, from consumer applications to commercial medium radial truck to aircraft and off-road tires. The mission of our organization is to support our factories first and to make sure that when they have challenges that are going on, to be able to provide on-time, real-time support.
Some of the challenges we were trying to solve, especially as we were heading into the pandemic, is travel takes a lot out of our engineers. Being a global company, it's a tremendous footprint. Collaboration is critical.
The mode of getting projects done was having engineers travel to the project sites and have people on the ground to execute the projects.
I was always in person to solve a problem, always. I thought that you had to meet in person with someone else in the process development center, or I had to travel to one of my plants or to a vendor to get anything done. We're talking days to months of travel. And then the pandemic hit and we had to adapt.
Teams and Realwear has been the way we've been able to get almost all of our projects done. That's a dramatic shift for our organization.
It allows our engineers to be able to see the issues and the opportunities firsthand, remotely.
if a machine breaks and I don't know how to fix it and my person of expertise is remote somewhere, I can now use Realwear within minutes to get online with them and to show them what I'm seeing.
I'm gonna have you wire the sensor into .io slot 5.
With just a small couple of voice commands, you can interact with your associates, capture video, take pictures, add them into the chat. It's a very seamless and easy experience and really optimizes how we can work and collaborate.
We now have teams working as what we call as a tricks cart, Teams Remote Installation, Commissioning, and Support System.
We often have machines where while it's running, you can't be inside of the machine, but with the tricks cart can film all of that footage, while I'm outside of the fence with the Realwear headset showing just a different view.
When I think about the benefit of the combination of the Realwear headset with Microsoft Teams, it's really two very simple things: the time savings and cost savings in travel.
The immediate ability to be online and see an engineer in a remote location and to provide help right now.
All right, I'm gonna actuate it manually now, and we're a little under 2 bar.
Yeah, I can see. So we're gonna turn the pressure up to 3 bar.
For a major equipment downtime, it's days faster, and for travel costs, thousands and thousands of dollars less. Per person per trip, $10,000 internationally easily.
I think the future is going to be so much more flexible, and I think that'll create just a better work environment for the employee that's happier because they have that work-life balance.
Honestly, I see Teams and Realwear becoming the way that we train people to produce the products for today and into the future.
So interesting because clearly the ROI was identified in travel avoidance, the ability to remove and fix problems right on the spot, and the ability to train people much more easily with a very simple tool that today exists in the organization. It's just Microsoft Teams. So taking Microsoft Teams to a different form factor, which is the Realwear form factor, becomes an extremely powerful tool for troubleshooting. And again, that's a starting point of a journey, because what you can do with Realwear devices goes above and beyond the simple ability to do collaboration. Let's have a look at the story of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has built a solution for warehouse picking. They have deployed close to 1,000 of our devices in several of their warehouses, and benefits are 99.99 accuracy. So hardly anything now leaves the warehouse that is not meant to be in that parcel, in that package, in that van. And the 10% increase in efficiency has clearly had a very significant impact on the bottom line. Now, the application for Coca-Cola requires connectivity into SAP, require connectivity into a backend, and require connectivity into the billing system.
Camera. Tu ok. Camera. Exit.
So a very simple solution, very elegant. And again, the part that needs to be noted here is the ability of the service workers in the warehouse, or the frontline workers in the warehouse, to be able to use their hands. If the technology had to be somewhat, activated using hand gestures or touching screens and buttons, then it wouldn't be able to do what they do. Just drive around using cards, or like you will see in the next example in the auto manufacturing and servicing industry, being able to repair cars in the showroom. So the story of Ford is also very interesting, because it is another customer that has deployed thousands of our devices, many of which are in Southeast Asia. And they started by basically using our tools to improve their own quality control and do remote assistance within the factories. But then they decided to scale it in every dimension across the entire value chain. So they've taken it to help with customer service. So all the Ford dealers nowadays are using Realwear technology to ensure that you get your cars back faster, because there's direct assistance from the Ford team.
We need to modernize where we want to go. Part of that is the rollout of Realwear to support our technicians in the dealership with difficult to repair cases. What we do with that is to, in real time, actually see what the technician sees and guide the technician in actually doing the repair on the vehicle.
It's an integrated solution which takes technology like the smart wearables, integrates into the relevant systems and performs remote services and remote work, as well as digitizing the relevant processes. But even more importantly, where there are challenges, where there are issues, he's able to get that remote assistance from anybody in the world. By head mounting it, you have access to a screen, you have the speakers, you have the processors, you have the battery power, you have everything that a tablet had. The only difference is that it's now hands-free. It goes one step further where you're actually able to augment and actually being able to point out in screen, and it appears in our augmented in his field of view in exactly the same way. So there's no dispute as to what to look at, what to do and how to do it.
Okay, Ben, so can you please put up the wiring diagram? Thank you. Okay, I see the circle around pin number 1 and 2. That's where we want me to test for voltage. Flashlight on. Okay, Ben, ignition on. 12.4 volts.
Okay, we don't need to see more clearly. What is interesting is that the customers are very happy to talk about their stories and how they are using Realwear to make it a success and to drive their level of customer satisfaction higher. I'll take a quick look at a couple of deployments in what is one of our key industries, the intrinsically safe space, like oil and chemical industry. So this is, basically, Jurong sort of island, Bukom Island, type of scenario, where Texmark and Total are running their operations. So this is Texmark.
Texmark is America. We are made up of diverse people from diverse backgrounds, diverse abilities, working together towards a single goal of safety, profitability, and forward movement.
We are a global operation. We're also within view of downtown Houston, the energy hub of the world.
Working here in a refinery, you want to make sure all your devices are intrinsically safe. Your HMT1 takes care of all aspects. It's intrinsically safe. Keeps anything from sparking. Any of these products are all flammable.
We're enthusiastic about working with Realwear and this product, HMT1. We believe it's one of the first of its kind brought to market. It's answering a lot of questions that customers are asking related to training, safety, geo-referencing, communications. It gives us a large palette of testing and functionality that we can bring to bear with new customers and open the door for new business.
I'll say it's an interesting story with Total as well.
Hello guys, it's Nabil and Fabrice from the Smart Room with Normandy. How can we help you?
So we had some intermittent vibrations last night reported by operations.
He said the vibration was reported mostly in the thrust bearing, correct?
Yes.
The deployment of Realwear connecting helmet in combination with Microsoft Teams marks another step in Total's digital transformation. This is a real game changer.
vibration issue could.
So, and then the troubleshooting goes on. The experts have all the information they need to solve the problem. And I guess that, takes them to a much faster resolution, so they feel comfortable about what is happening. Now, what I wanted to do last is just give you an example of data IoT visualization. So this is sort of connecting very well with the digital twin stories of the Hiverlab presentation. And it's basically an example on how to leverage that on a Realwear device.
Today's buildings are getting smarter, and with it, our ability to control what happens inside them. This means that we can predict problems before they occur and affect real-time change to improve experiences and really become more effective in building maintenance. So let's take a look at how this works with Azure IoT and Iconic's mobile HMI using the HMT1. My programs? Mobile HMI? By reading a barcode, the HMT1 can access the digital twin of the unit to see the events log and real-time changes in the settings and how they affect the unit. Show trends. Through the mobile HMI, I can also access the latest manuals online, so I know I'm always looking at the latest, most up-to-date information. Show manual. Zoom level 3. As I move my head, you'll also see that the HMT1 is following my head motions and moving to the part of the document that corresponds to my movement.
Okay, I think with this, you have seen a number of use cases that are extremely relevant to
as you might imagine,
many of our customers today. And what we are doing is embarking in a journey of digital transformation with customers in Singapore, in Southeast Asia, and around the globe. And the deployments that are taking place are into the thousands of devices, because if you look at the workforce that they have today, the number of frontline workers that don't have digital tools, then the number of opportunities and the scale within which the devices can be deployed is extremely large. So with this, I'd like to end my presentation and pass the controls back to Billy.
Okay, thank you very much, Roberto. A very great showcase. I love examples from companies like Texmark, Capital Infrastructure, even Total as well. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Roberto. We'll give you a time for just a short break, but we'll bring you back for the Q&A later on. Okay, so do come back in just about 5 minutes. In the meantime, thank you very much. We're going to move on to our next special sharing on Pixel facilities and programs. This is for the benefit of our friends who are new to Pixel and new to IMDA. We're going to show you more about what IMDA Pixel can offer you, as well as IMDA is a new C2PO Comms and Connectivity Program Office has a special thing called a 5G Innovation Grant. So I'm going to invite my colleagues first, Janice Lim from IMDA Pixel, as well as Valerie Ng from IMDA's C2PO. Not a Star Wars character. This stands for the Comms and Connectivity Program Office, to share you more about IMDA's programs. May I welcome Janice to take the mic? Janice?
Thanks, Billy. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can see you in your slide and can hear you well. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, so sorry everyone. I think we're overrunning quite a bit. So I promise I'm gonna stick to 5 minutes just for a short sharing. I just wanted to share with you who Pixel is and how we can help you with your ARVR journey. So Pixel, in a nutshell, we are a incubation as well as a innovation facility. And if you're curious, it's actually an open facility for the industry, which means that there's actually no cost involved to come and check out Pixel. So over the years, we have actually incubated a few startups, more than a few startups in Pixel, one of them being Hiverlab that you heard from earlier. So we have quite a few ARVR startups working out of Pixel today. And accompanying them would be our ARVR lab, as well as facilities like our user testing lab as well. So the ARVR lab is actually complemented by the 5G Living Lab at Pixel. We are one of the few 5G enabled test beds in Singapore. And Hiverlab is an example of a company that has come to test out some of their solutions at Pixel to see how 5G can really enhance some of their solutions. So the ARVR lab, actually, the point of the ARVR lab is actually to help you lower your development costs or experimentation costs, because we do host a wide variety of headset, hardware, and increasingly bringing in software as well. So I'll just skip through this. I think this just gives you a quick preview of what we have here at our lab. And do contact us if you would like to find out more about how to access some of these starter kits. So if you're thinking about either one, how to start on an ARVR project, or if you're a startup working on an ARVR solution, I think Pixel is the place to be. So one, we will actually step through the journey with you to help you identify your use case through an ideation workshop. Second of all, that's if you do not know where to start, the community of ARVR tech solvers here would be very useful to help you think about what are some of the possibilities. And the third one I would like to highlight is after you have a good idea of what your project is, Pixel will be the place to place yourself and really make use of our facilities as well as some of our consultants to help you improve or actually improve a solution or actually to create a new solution. So today we have our industrial webinar that's going on, but we do have a wide variety of other topics available as well. So coming up next on 9th Feb would be ARVR for the lifestyle sector, so do look out for that. And in February, we're also having a whole series of technical workshops. So it'll be a bit different. It's more of hands-on training with some of the providers like PTC, Vuforia, which you've heard from today. So with that, I think I'll pass the time over to my colleague Valerie. She'll just do a short sharing of the technical workshops as well as some of the grants that's available to help you for your projects.
Yes, thanks, Jenny. So a quick one to share on this, basically besides the ARVR hardware and software at Pixel, IMDA has also put together these ARVR technical workshop to help participants to jumpstart in the use of ARVR and collaboration tools. So we have so far put together 3 workshops, and basically through this workshop, participants can learn to create XR experiences for human-to-human collaboration, remote assistant and training, and also customer engagement type use cases. So do sign up for these technical workshop by scanning the QR code on this slide. So next, next, I will share on the 5G Innovation Grant Program. So a quick one to share, basically, this is Innovation Grant Program is aimed at accelerating the adoption and commercialization of 5G solutions. So applicant can either be a tech provider or end user company. And the proposal that come in for this grant program should be focused in any of the 3 tech domain areas of robotics and IoT, AI, AR and VR. So in terms of funding scope, we actually fund up to 70% of the qualifying costs, and the qualifying component here being manpower, hardware, software, material, and ICT services and professional services. In event that applicant want to apply for IP, we also support that as well. So of course, we'll share this deck with you. You can find out more detail through this web link here. And so here, this slide also share briefly on some of these 5G enabled use cases. I've come to the end of our IMDA sharing here, and I'll pass the time back to Billy.
Okay, thank you very much, Valerie, as well as Janice, for sharing more about Pixel as well as IMDA's upcoming technical workshops, for ARVR as well as the 5G Innovation Grant. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the Q&A session right now. I do apologize for the fact that we ran over time, but do forgive us because I think we had a lot of cool content today, and we really had to show you all the very cool examples of ARVR in industrial operations. So right now we're just gonna hold a very short, hopefully a very fast Q&A session. I'd like to welcome back our 5 speakers for today. We have Lawrence from Microsoft, Yuan from Hiverlab, Jiamin from PTC Vuforia, Tiken from SFX Corporation, as well as Roberto, Galbiati from Realwear. I'd like to invite back our speakers just for a short while. We have a couple of questions that were already answered previously by Lawrence, thank you very much for helping us answer the questions. And also Rennie as well. I think Rennie also answered one question. So what happens is that we will be putting up the transcript of these questions, right, on the registration website where you guys register for this particular webinar. So my colleagues will send you a post-event email to update you on where to find all these documents on the registration website. So we will allow you to view the answers that Lawrence as well as Rennie has given to the earlier questions. So right now we have 3 open questions. I'm going to move on to one that is probably for Lawrence at Microsoft. It's from no, right? Oh, it went off already. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed by my DJ colleagues that Lawrence has gone on because he's actually based in Sydney, and Sydney, as we know, is 3 hours ahead, so it's probably like 7 plus, right? So, thank you very much, Lawrence, for being with us earlier. Yeah, I think we'll hold the question for you another time. There's a question from Future again. So, Future, I wanted to ask about the things, right? So we can put that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think basically we have cleared all the questions, unless, okay, I'm going to hold my breath for 10 seconds. I say, any last minute questions for our remaining panelists? We have Yuan, we have Jiamin, we have TK Ng, as well as Roberto Galbiati. If you guys have any questions for them, do post within the next, okay, let me hold my breath now. 30 seconds before I expire. Can I talk to my DJ colleagues? What do you guys think? Do we hold for open questions, or yeah? So any more question? Yeah. So for Check Tian, I'll tell you what, we're gonna forward the question to Lawrence in Sydney, and then we'll hopefully we'll be able to publish his response, right, together with the rest of other answered questions on the special registration website. So basically, my colleagues will be sending out a post-event email to thank you all for attending today's webinar, and also include the links for you to view the slides as well as the transcript for the Q&As. Okay. So I believe there is no more. Okay. Yes. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Okay. I'd like to first of all once again thank our speakers for today. Lawrence from Microsoft in Sydney, Yuan from Hiverlab, Jiamin from PTC Vuforia, TK Ng from SFX Corporation, and Roberto Galbiati from Realwear. Thank you very much for spending time explaining to us, showing us all these really cool use cases of ARVR and the metaverse, right, in industrial operations. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I do have one more request. Do we have feedback form for our audience? Okay, the feedback form is on already. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do welcome you to click on the QR code and to answer the questions in the feedback form, because your feedback is very important to us. You will allow us, you give us more information to improve and to make our next wave of webinars even better, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, one more good news for you. We do have another webinar coming up very, very soon, and this is very exciting. It's going to be powering brand experiences with ARVR, as promised by Janice. Is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be very excited about. So, it's going to be taking place on after Chinese New Year. It's going to be taking place on Wednesday, the 9th of February 2022. Again, same timing from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. It'll also be a virtual session via Zoom, so do look out for our collaterals. We will be sending out, first of all, our EDMs to tell you about this upcoming webinar, and we'll also be posting on our social media channels, including LinkedIn. We'll also be setting up a LinkedIn event, so do look out for all the details of this upcoming webinar. But in the meantime, this is a sneak preview for you, so you can actually mark our calendars to get ready for this. All right, once again, it's been a great pleasure, and thank you very much for attending today's very exciting webinar on transforming industrial operations with ARVR. We thank you very much for your time. We hope you have learned enough about all the cool stuff that's happening across all the different sectors, including the industrial sector, in terms of using ARVR for training, for safety, for visual inspection, on-site inspection, and so on. And we hope that the next webinar, Powering Brand Experiences with ARVR, will show us new facets of how the metaverse is impacting real-world operations across the retail experience as well, right, including the brand experience. So, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to join us once again on 9th February 2022. It's a Wednesday, time from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. And it'll be the third webinar in our very special IMDA Pixel ARVR Metaverse series. This has been Billy from Team Pixel. Once again, thank you everybody for joining us today, and we will see you soon on 9th February 2022 for the next webinar titled Powering Brand Experiences with ARVR. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye now.